joining day in the 2014. In the same day, 28 June, I joined in this college. But I got a privilege to sit with the beloved esteemed personalities. On the same day, after 9 years, I thank Diwakar sir for the opportunity and everything. So friends, before going into the topic of India's presidency in G20, I would like to say something very interesting for you. Because you know, India is part of BRICS. India is part of BIMSTEC. India is part of Quad, which is a strategic group. India is part of I2U2. And India is part of Asian Development Bank. In keeping all these things, India is part of United Nations too. From the day of starting, it is one of the founding member, what we can call so far. But why G20 is such much prominent for India? What is the essence of G20? Because friends, just think that United Nations consisting of 193, 194 countries. I don't know exactly the word, because when you are speaking about the international relations, the game cannot be played in isolation, you should be more diplomatic. So United Nations is such a big institution with 193 countries containing developed countries, developing countries as well as the poor countries too. And G7, there is a group, elite group, developed group, where the supreme economies contains. But G20 is a mix of both the developed and developing countries together. See, it's a big opportunity for India to be the presidency of G20. Before going into that legalities and everything, I would like to say that why G20 has come. What is the basic essentiality of G20? My friends, just I will narrate a small story to you. See, this world, India cannot go with isolation. We have neighbors, we have friends, we have enemies, we have sweethearted friends too. So, in the year 1997, when the tiger economies, what we call tiger economies, the Indonesia, so what we call that Malaysia, so Thailand, when these tiger economies felt with the financial crisis. Why this financial crisis happened? You know that in the year 1991, everybody knows, every Indian knows that LPG reforms has come forward. The Narasimha Rao and Manmohan Singh, the two, what we can say, the both parties has got the LPG reforms in India. In the year 1995, the world is open. It is an open market. Anybody can go to any country and they can invest and they can reap the benefits and they can develop that country. In that particular issue, the tiger economies has got lot of FDIs, FPIs, and you know, the economy is booming. There is a credit bubble. At the same time, what happened? USA is a very strategic player. We know that. We often call it as a big brother. But big brother, there is something behind it. So at the same time, USA called for increased interest rates. Then what the FPIs will think that if we go and invest in some other country where the interest rates are very, where it is giving good interest rates, all the FPIs went back to the countries, and in the same time, these tiger economics has devalued their currency to increase their exports and to make their market more competitive. At that time, there is a financial instability, there is a debt crisis, the whole world enter into a big drama. In the same time, the world think that to overcome this crisis, to come out from this crisis, we need a system, we need an organization for the financial stability and economic cooperation. At that time, it came into picture, that is G20. That is G20. So, this G20 first has focused on one thing, that is economical cooperation for financial stability. But now, the dynamics of G20 changed. It became a mini forum and it became a mini UN, what we can say that. So, at this moment, it is a situation where there are developed countries and developing countries together. But friends, remember the time where India got independence in the year 1947. So, India itself is a leader. I call India as a leader forever. Because you know, the moment when India got independence, it has not supported the communistic and capitalistic. It has not tilted to the two sides. It formed a new group by heading as a leader for third world countries and newly independent countries in the form of NAM. But now it's time for India to be the leader for both developed countries and developing countries. So it's a tough challenge for India because after the COVID-19 pandemic, you know that many world countries opposed the concept of globalization. Nobody want to enter into the conflict of globalization because when the COVID-19 happened all over the world, the economies was shut down. There is no, what you can say, transboundary linkages of exports and imports. At the same time, When the world went into the crisis, then countries realized that domestic market is more important. Domestic production is more important than importing something from other countries. Then depending upon the global supply chain, we need to have something with the regional aspect, with the domestic market. At the same situation, it is a very tough time for India to prove that still the globalized helpness is needed, till the globalized connectivity is needed. So it is one of the tough situation for India. And another more thing, after this Russia-Ukraine crisis, many countries asked that, you are good friend to Russia, my Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, why can't you be the dispute resolution mechanism manner? Why can't you make that? So the world is expecting something from India. And the EM, External Affairs Minister Jaishankar ji, quoted that this G20 is not a simple thing, because it is a thing which related to climate change, conflict, COVID-19. 3 C's are linked with that. So now it's time for India to organize this mega event. My friends, see, keeping it into the consideration, without any, what we can say that discouragement or anything, India is doing this G20 as a big festival. This G20 is not a global forum or summit in India. It is a big democratic international festival that is happening in India. It is not confined to Vigyan Bhavan, or it is not confined to the International Center for Ambedkar for any development, and it came to the city which is tier 2 or tier 3 like Ananthapuramu and many places. This G20 is happening with 200 meetings across the India in the 50 cities. Where you think that Sherpa track and financial track are there, there are many subgroups which is promoting this G20. Among that, our youth is also there. Y20 is another consultation group which is going on. There is startup S20 group, there is B20 group, there is W20 group. So India want to make it as an opportunity, because there is a lot of global crisis. India want to turn this crisis into opportunity and to grab the benefits. Is India playing that role? Yeah. India is leader forever. Why I say means, when the Western influence is there on the world, when India called for International Solar Alliance. Mark this word, my friends, International Solar Alliance. Without hesitation, 121 countries supported for this act. This is a great success for India. When the world is suffering with the COVID-19, nearly some crores of doses were provided to many countries. In the statement given by WHO, it said that if there is no India during the COVID-19, then at least 20 countries would have lost 30 to 40% of their population and demographic dividend. So that is the greatness of India's helpingness. And my friends, I would like to say that India want to be the global South leader. India want to be the global South leader. So you can believe that, can India has that ability? Yes. In our ethos, in our ethnicity, in our values, we said that I am Nijaha, Paroveti, Gana Laguchetanam, Udara Charitam tu Vasudaiva Kutumbakam, which is said in the Maha Upanishad of India. India can be a person who treats that world is my family. Because this is you, this is me, is a thought of a common man. The world is my family is a thought of a person and a great personality and a great country like India. So you can find this, friends. How this G20 can become an opportunity for India? I will say that. Because friends, you see that Russia and Ukraine, these are the two countries which is producing more amount of wheat to the world. When this war has happened, when the United Nations has propounded the theory of International Year of Millets, India is starting promoting the millets. So India want to replace the wheat with the millets. Think that how strategically India is acting. When the Russia and Ukraine, which are the two important leading producers of wheat, when there is a war happened, when the global supply chain was broken down, India has introduced millets. So this is called a intellectual diplomacy. Intellectual diplomacy. Even Modi ji is having the fast track diplomacy. He goes like a robot and visit the USA, Egypt and etc. etc. In the same way, the same intellectual diplomacy is going on. And my friends, I would like to say that India want to project the digital public infrastructure. For this G20, digital public infrastructure is going to be a boon for the world. My friends, I would like to say one thing. I don't quote that president who commented my India. He said that India is uncivilized. India is vulgar. India is backward. So that president today opening the eyes and seeing India and following what India is doing. My friends, Today, what we call the developed countries, the most forward countries, the prominent countries have not done a great thing, but India has done. India is number one in the world's digital payments. 8 million digital payments are happening per month. This is a country which is containing of 18% of the global population. We connected them digitally. The Prime Minister said that देश में रेलवे स्टेशन के पास लाइन नहीं है, बस स्टैंड के पास लाइन नहीं है, बैंक के पास लाइन नहीं है, देश में एक ही लाइन है, ये ऑनलाइन है. Okay? He said that word. He said that we united the jam. There is no traffic jam in the country. There is one jam in the country. Jan Dhan Aadhaar Mobile. We linked all the direct benefit transfers. 63 lakh crore rupees of the Indian budget and state budget has directly went into the account of every Indian through this DBT. This is the largest digital public infrastructure that India is going to create. Even the Singapore is accepting the UPI. Even the UAE is accepting the UPI. Now UPI means Unified Payment Interface has become a symbol how the India can change the world order, in the economical world order. Keep this in the point. So that is the greatness of India, my friends. This is a digital public infrastructure what India is going to create by this G20. India is going to be the master. We don't want the SWIFT anything anymore. We don't want MasterCard, Visa card. The UPI is going to be the leading factor by this G20. That is the opportunity what India has grabbed. My friends, I would like to say one thing. Somebody said that India is unemployed country. India is having a lot amount of unemployees. But India is going to create a parallel government, parallel employment opportunities through startups. So the S20 group for the first time in G20, just I am talking to the head from the RIS. So we have speaking about that. India has propounded the theory of S20, Startup 20. My friends, government cannot provide job to all the people. We need more startups. So India is saying to the world to get more startups to make the country prosperous, to make the world prosperous, to make the world stabilize. So India is saying that we are having third largest startups in the country. Under the Make in India scheme, nearly Startup and Stand Up India scheme, 80,000 startups were enrolled in India. 80,000 startups, my friends. So India is going to be the global master leader for manufacturing hub, and it is going to be the greatest player in the startup game. Think that many people say that India can be ruled, but India cannot rule. What about Rishi Sunak? What Prime Minister Modi ji said when he went to America? My madam, who was sitting backside of me, having roots in India. So that is a word what Prime Minister said to the world. India's diaspora is India's strength. In these G20 countries, the key players were Indians. The finance ministers in this are helping by the think tanks which are heading by the Indians. So, and another thing, friends, in the agriculture. See, when there is a COVID-19 crisis, when the world went into a distress, when there is a large amount of food security, when the world faced the food insecurity, at that time India is bringing the theory of zero budget natural farming, organic farming. And it is saying that organic farming and zero budget farming came from the Vedic time in our Indian culture. So next, the future in the agriculture, we don't want pesticides and insecticides. West injected the pesticides and insecticides into the soil of India. But India want to give an organic culture, a natural budget zero farming culture. That is the greatness of India. That is the greatness linkage of India with the nature. So that is what India want to promote this G20, in the G20. And my friends, and keep this in the point, India is calling the special invitees. In the G20, we have 20 countries, 19 countries and European Union. India is inviting UAE, India is inviting the Mauritius, India is inviting the countries like Netherlands, Nigeria, Bangladesh. Why it is inviting? India is following a policy called Neighbors First policy. In the Neighbors First policy, see, when the Honorable Prime Minister won the election in the 2014, he spoken with all the neighbor countries and invited them for the swearing ceremony and saying that we are following a principle called Neighbors First policy. So we are inviting the Bangladesh, which is a non-member in the G20. What India want to confine means, India want to extend a hand to the neighbors and it want to keep a healthy relations with the neighbors. When there is a conflict, other two edges were like with Pakistan and China, India want to counter that with a goodwill and good name, what we are earning from these allied friends who are around as neighbors. And my friends, another important thing, financial inclusion. Why I am saying the word financial inclusion? In this G20, India is going to inject a word to the world, that is called financial inclusion. In India, lot of digital payments are happening with transparency and accountability. There is no scope for red tapeism. There is no scope for anti-corruption. India is showing that we are reducing the corruption in all parts. In the international corruption index also showing that India's rank is coming down in the corruption basis. So these financial inclusion schemes with the transparency and accountability is example to the world, what India can teach to the world. And next, my friends, keeping this, we said that the P.V. Narasimha Rao ji said that look east policy. But now the policy changed. It is act east policy. We are maintaining a very strong and healthy connections with our east countries because we have a devil. Because you know, the European Union countries always comment on India. When there is an issue of Galvan, the country said that it's a somewhat mistake by the India. They are dancing with the dragon. It is a time for India to make a friendly relationship with the European countries by supporting simultaneously to the East Asia. Because India want to be the global South leader. That is the main agenda. And my friends, and I want to keep one thing. In India, not only in India, in the world, the urbanization is increasing. The 80% of the global GDP and infrastructure. And it is going to say that we are going to be the pioneers in that, and we should do together to protect the population, to protect the demographic dividend, to protect the people from these side effects and what we can say from the effects of disaster. And my friends, keep that. So how the Modi ji, how EAM, Jaishankar, how diplomats, these people, I don't know. Because India is using its soft power like anything. See, when the foreigners, when the people from the G20 countries, from the financial track or from the Sherpa track come to India, they will be called for the Ahmedabad to play the kite festival. This is called soft power diplomacy. They want to showcase what is going in India. They want to showcase the tourism in India. They said that UNESCO 40 World Heritage Sites are there in India. Come, visit and promote our tourism. See, Kerala is known for medical tourism. Himalayas are known for beautiful rural tourism. So India is promoting the tourism. And in future, you don't believe, my friends, 25% of the income in the world, 25% of the GDP in the world will come from the tourism and its allied sector. Because tourism is going to play a crucial role. India is going to keep that in the track of G20's discussions. And my friends, see, we love the nature. Nature is related to the human life. India is taking a leading part and it promoted a program called LIFE. Lifestyle for Environment. LIFE. Lifestyle for Environment. In this program, the Antonio Guterres, our chief, United Nations chief, came to India and he initiated that program in India and said that India is known for environment. Why I say that? We are the third largest renewable energy producers in the world, my friends. You don't know that? Third largest renewable energy producers in the world. Fourth largest windmill established country in the world is India. Fifth largest solar installed plants were there in India. So India is going to play with the renewable source. And India is going to be the pioneer in that. And India want to talk about this in the G20. India want to showcase this to the world. India want to showcase this abilities, potentials, this caliber, content, intent, whatever you call to the world. This is what India is expecting. And my friends, I would like to say another thing here. One of the key important aspect I want to say that. India called Mauritius. You know Mauritius, many of you after your marriage will go to the Mauritius for making some your family trips or honeymoon trips. So sorry to say that. But Mauritius is strategically important for India. It is located on the Indian Ocean. So if you maintain the friendly relationship with the Mauritius, you can keep hold in the Indian Ocean. So India has said to the world in the G20 countries to break down the double tax avoidance agreements with the, what we can say, double taxation should be taken out between the Mauritius and other countries. India is injecting these abilities in the other countries because strategically Mauritius is very important. If you want to hold the power of Indian Ocean, in the Indian Ocean, that is through Mauritius. So China want to make the alliance with the Mauritius, but India is trying through this G20 to make that by calling Mauritius as a special invitee to the G20. And my friends, so without much time, because you know, when I come in front of the mic, because I forget that word. And I want to keep one thing. There is a Y20 consultation, which our Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports is organizing. My friends, always Prime Minister ji will speak one thing. When there is a G20 and Y20 consultation meeting, the Prime Minister ji said one thing. Because you know, India is the largest democratic country. You all know that. In this largest democratic country, the youth participation is very less. in the assemblies and the parliaments, the number of youth percentage, the level of youth percentage is less than 5%. So you may become the character, you may become the actor, you may become the teacher, anything you may become. But at the same time, take part in the democracy process. See, through proper leadership, through strong leadership, through effective leadership, only we can make India as a global superpower. So if you want to do that, if you want to correct India rather than the commenting on India, you should be the key player in the democracy by being a great voter, by being a great contributor to the democracy, or being a great politician. Think about the politics. You know, the world is a political game. It's a political theory. So in this political game, the key players are the politicians. I want many young people should come to the politics because youth means truth. Youth means truth. So truth should come into the politics irrespective of anything. I want to see many youth who should stand into the politics. So, you know, in this G20 they kept a important aspect, role of youth in democracies across the world. Many youth should come into the democracies and they should strengthen this system and they should protect this system. Because India is known for democracy. How can a chaiwala can become the Prime Minister of India? That is the beauty of Indian democracy. What we can say that America is a developed country. It is a leader and it is a, what we can say, big brother. But India is a loving brother. You don't know that. In America after 200 years also there is no woman president. But we have women presidents, women governors, women CMs, women PMs, what we call as. That is the greatness of India's democracy. So believe in this holy land, believe in this holy soil. And my friends, take part in the G20 consultation. Just go through the activities which are going on. And you need to get through into this system. Because you know, the Delhi is connected to the Gully through this G20 event. All the things which are happening in Delhi is happening in the Gully also because of our beloved Kori sir and Diwakar sir who is taking these initiatives. What comes into their pockets? They want to inject something into your minds as and they want to make you as intellectual beings. So this is the final conclusion I want to give to you. And first of all, because if I have achieved something, if I have achieved United Nations Award, what so called, nothing award is more precious to me than the blessings of my Guru. So I thank Diwakar sir for inviting me and for calling me, sir, because you know, without you, my life would have been not this much. Always, sir, I have pyar, I have love, I have ish towards you. I thank you for that. And I want to conclude with one thing, my friends. Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas, Sabka Prayas. It should be your philosophy. Making India proud, Ek Bharat, Shrestha Bharat should be your identity. Be proud to be an Indian, don't to be the commenter, try to be the constructor of this India. Okay, that is my message to the friends. Make this G20 as an international democratic festival. Celebrate it as early as possible. Make it as much as possible. Take it to every corner of the society. Connect the village with the world. That is what important. When you connect the local world with the global world, that is the main concept of this G20. Thanks for giving this opportunity. Thanking all the leaders. Thank you. Jai Yuva, Jai Bharat, Jai Hind.
Thank you.